Okay, that camera's recording. That is now recording. This one's gonna be annoying, just give me a second. All right, that should be recording. Oh man, hope I can get this angle back in time without killing too much time. Please excuse me while I try to figure this out. All right, I don't think that's moving. I think that works, even if it's a little crooked. We should be good to go. Welcome back. I don't know, I keep saying that. But genuinely excited. I'm excited about making this video. I don't know if you can tell by me being all smiles. But last month was a super good month for me. I uploaded 3 videos in 1 month after doubting that I would even continue after the first one. You know? Give myself the accommodations that I think I deserve to keep me motivated. Today's topic might be in the title already. I think I'm going to title this video Stop Complaining. Because I deal with a lot of people in my life, as everyone does, I think, that there's certain people where it feels like no matter what, shit is just not going their way. Doesn't matter what happens, they're always having the worst week, the worst month. If you complain about something, they're always in a worse situation. And you know, some people do get bad luck of the draw. I believe wholeheartedly that not everyone was put on this earth with the same amount of equal opportunity. People have easier lives, people have harder lives. But there's a point of taking accountability that I think every adult human needs to realize. So that's what this video is about the topic of complaining. Because I did a little bit of research last night. I am not a well-informed scientist or psychologist about this topic. Please take everything I say with a grain of salt. I am not educated. I looked into this stuff last night and I felt super motivated by how passionate I was about this topic, that I literally took the time to do homework on a topic that I didn't really think I'd care about, but I found myself going down a rabbit hole where I couldn't stop reading information about this. About complaining. So let's start with a big term. Ready? The term is neuroplasticity. It is I don't have a script in front of me. I wish I had that prepared, but, you know. It is the mind's ability to change and adapt through life. You know, it's basically the way your brain molds. The more you grow, the more you get older, the more experience you have, your brain is constantly evolving and changing and learning things without you even noticing. There's a thing that happens in the brain when it comes to learning skills and things of that nature. When routine happens, when habit happens, and your body gets in a constant motion of doing something, it might be really hard at first, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. That is neuroplasticity at its finest. It's your mind's ability to change. Your mind was not the same when you first started your oil rig job because you didn't know anything. But 5 years into your oil rig job, you've learned so much stuff, your brain has changed so much. Boom. That is the plasticity of your mind. There is something that happens when someone complains. And it comes from chemicals in your brain making a thought. It goes that deep into your system. There are, I'm going to just not read this. I'm not going to say this like I'm reading off a script. I'm going to say this as someone who is breaking it down in layman's terms, because that's what I understand better. The way your brain makes a thought is it's coming from this stem, and to continue the thought, it has to cross this gap here, okay? By sending chemicals to carry that thought. It's not just one, you don't just have big one worm brain. It's super elaborate, okay? But the idea of thoughts and ideas come from a chemical reaction within the brain. When someone complains, that chemical reaction happens, okay? The more that person complains, just like building a skill, the smaller that connection gets over time. It's like making a bridge. You're crossing the bridge, and say every time you cross that bridge, you lay down an extra popsicle stick. You know, it might be super sketchy at first when you're walking on 2 popsicle sticks. Once you're 300 popsicle sticks in of 300 complaints, that foundation is way easier to cross. It's super easy to keep following that thought process. The more you complain, the easier it becomes to complain. It's like lifting weights. The more you lift a 25-pound dumbbell, the easier it becomes. It really is training your brain. I don't know about you, but that's super mind-blowing to me. The thought that the more you complain, the more likely you are to complain even more. That's pretty crazy to me. So I'm titling this video, Stop Complaining. And it's not for me to demonize the word complaining, you know? Just because you know someone in your life that's complained, does not make them a bad person. You've complained, you know what I mean? But I do think it's interesting how everyone can complain. Everyone's got something to complain about, no matter who you are. But you can train your mind to turn complaining into a habit. The act of complaining becomes a habit where people will complain even when they have nothing to complain about. They'll complain just to complain. It's almost like a conversation piece. Oh man, work sucks. Derp. Oh God. This gym sucks. Oh God. My dinner sucks. You know? There is something that happens when you complain. And you know, we've always been told, like, oh, it's better to let it out than to keep it in. Now, there is some truth to that. I'm not going to say that's false. I think you should absolutely be open with people. But I think you should develop a habit of selective complaining, where there are certain things you can't change, okay? It's just like when I complain about myself. I'll go, oh, my chest genetics suck. Ooh, my back is always my weak part. Oh man, I wish my biceps were bigger. There is something that happens when you complain where your brain is tricked into reliving that bad memory. You're like, oh my God, my day at work today sucked so bad. You are tricking your brain into reliving that moment, which raises cortisol. Now, cortisol is a big no-no. Cortisol affects your health in literally every way that you could think. Cortisol raises blood pressure, which leads to like I don't have a script in front of me, but I know it could lead to like weight gain. It could lead to like depression because of all these other things stacking up. I'll put a list on that one, on that camera. Hi, camera. I'll put a list of all the bad stuff that cortisol does because it's a big no-no. So, not conclusion, I don't want to end this video yet. In conjunction, I don't know, everything put together that we learned today, class, complaining, okay? Complaining equals more complaining. More complaining equals habit. Habit of complaining equals raised cortisol levels. Raised cortisol levels equals bad health. In theory, habitual complaining is the reason you're upset all the time. Now, here it comes. How do I fix it, Nolan? I'm lost. You're the Wizard of Oz. Save us. Help me. You know everything. You're so cool. And your arms are big. Thank you, first of all. Secondly, stop. You're delusional. Third, I have a solution. Gratitude. Didn't see that one coming. Gratitude is literally, Gratitude is literally the arch nemesis of complaints. You can't always change what happens in your life, but you can change the things you complain about, and you can change how you think about things. You know, there's always that saying that's like, don't complain about things that are out of your control. You can still complain about it. Trust me. Don't complain about it too much, though, because then you are literally doing nothing for yourself. You're hurting yourself. Gratitude was my topic. Humans are way more likely to focus on the negative things than they focus on the positives. And it's a weird thing where humans actually, like, you ever hear the saying, you don't realize what you have until it's gone? It's a really hard lesson that most people have to learn, is that the times that you think were bad, you'll probably end up looking on pretty fondly because things might be worse, you know? That's a huge saying I always say to myself is, it could be worse. A couple weeks ago, I messed up my car a little bit. Went driving in the snow, not intentional. I just went to the gym, was headed home, picked a really bad time. Snow on the ground, slid, hit a curb, boom, wrecked my tire. But, which cost me like $600 in repairs, which sucks, you know? Shouldn't have been driving. But I could sit there and complain, which I did. I did complain. But I also realized the point that a couple things could have gone worse. For one, no one else was involved in the accident. Huge plus. Second, the repair was only $600. Hey, for people that know that when they're out of a car, they'll pay anything just to get it back. Luckily, my bill wasn't too hefty. Can live with that. Thirdly, it could have been worse, which is kind of like the second one, but it could have been worse. I really wasn't going that fast, but my dad said to me, he goes, "You're lucky you didn't set your airbags off, because then that's a whole issue. The car thinks it's totaled, right? I don't know. It's way more money to put your airbags back in. I know that." So that's the way you could change on how you look at things is, yeah, things could be bad right now. Things are bad for everyone, you know? but they could always be worse. Not saying that doesn't make what you're complaining about valid, but it does give you hope for the fact that not only could things have gone worse, but most likely they're going to get better because this is bad. You don't stay in bad for too long, genuinely, unless you do nothing about it. Another thing I wanted to say, maybe none of this relates to you. Maybe you go, I don't complain ever. I go through life, and even if I would total my car tomorrow, I'd say, thank God I'm still alive. Sure. There's something that humans do that I also learned from my research last night that I forget what it's called. It's like the mirror gene in the human, where without us even knowing, it just happens subconsciously. When you're interacting with people and associating, just watching people, we tend to mirror people without even knowing. I've noticed this with myself. I'll watch a YouTube video. I might not even be interested in the video, but if I see someone smiling back at me, I feel the smile go on my face. It's super strange. But that's how humans are wired, which I think is pretty strange. What does this have to do with complaining, though? When someone, say you're around a habitual complainer, without you even knowing, you will start to mirror that person's mindset. You'll start to mirror how they talk, because you'll go, well, they'll say, oh, my boss is so mean to me. I hate my job. I made love to Hank in accounting. And it's just conversation pieces. And then you'll go, yeah, I mean, I don't like the cheese they sell at my job. Everyone's like, oh my God, we got him. That's joining in. That's the mirror personality. I'm not great at these analogies, dude, but I'm trying, and I hope my point is still getting across, that humans mirror humans without us even knowing. It's literally in our code. So, my point. Don't let habitual complainers and people that act like they got nothing going for them drag you down, because they will make your situation feel like it's bad, even if you like it, because you start to mirror that mindset. The habitual complainer is the easiest way to rot yourself from the inside. You're literally hurting yourself. As soon as you become a person who complains habitually, I keep saying that. If you make it a habit of complaining, you are hurting yourself in every single way. And if you're around people that have nothing to talk about other than how bad things are and what to complain about and nothing good's coming up, well, guess what? They are rotting you without you even knowing. Keep the complaining to a minimum. Things are usually not as bad as you say they are. Trust me. Trust me. Things could always be worse. I think that's all I wanted to say. But I thought this was a topic that I found really interesting, because you learn about how humans are built, how we function. It's really strange how even if we notice like bad things about somebody, like the more you hang around it, it's almost like you justify it and you start to mirror it. It's the craziest thing. So this video is called Stop Complaining, but it really should be stop habitually complaining. Do not make complaining a habit. It does not make you cool. It does not make you fun to be around. The best way to counter complaining is to be grateful. Be grateful for not the things you don't have, but for the things you do have. You know? Instead of complaining, saying, I wish I had $1 million, you can be grateful and say, thank God I have 2,000, because it would suck if I didn't have any. You know? And I don't think that's like being delusional, of you just focusing on the good. It's way easier to focus on the bad. So if you bring the good thoughts to the forefront, you are going to help yourself in every way imaginable. Yeah. I almost didn't make this video today because I felt super unready, I guess. I didn't feel ready. But I just pulled in. Oh yeah. It is March 11th today. My birthday was 5 days ago. I am now 24 years old. It is March 11th, 2025. But I was really excited to make this video. Sorry if my lips look super chapped. I was really excited to make this video, so that's why I made it. Hopefully get this out soon. But we're actually back in the same location that I was last video. And pretty interesting part of my life. Change of plans with this house. This is hopefully the place I will move into soon. This will be my home. House I grew up in as a child. Hopefully, this will be my future house. It'll be my first home, which is really cool. Really excited about it. And, you know, with this place, I could focus on how far away it is from being done. I could complain about that. Or I could be grateful for the fact that we are making progress. You know, I think that's a good note to end on. Thank you for watching. And yeah, genuinely thank you for watching if anyone's watching this. Even if it's you, Nolan, if you're watching this back, thanks for watching and not just scrapping the footage. Yeah. See ya.